president at the time in Korea?
The president at the time of Korea was Eisenhower.
He didn't believe in the bomb.
Yeah, but Eisenhower was a warrior.
But he didn't believe in the bomb.
But he saw what happened in land wars and stuff. He said, "I got to end it."
But the thing is, he used it as a defensive weapon. He actually built more bombs than before.
Now, he did threaten the use of tactical nukes on the Chinese. He said, "Listen, if you don't come to the table and talk, we're gonna open the door on what we're gonna use you fellas," and that forced the Chinese to come to the table and end the war.
Would he have done it?
I don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. But the thing is, he did threaten it.
He did threaten it.
That's utilitarian.
In order to force the Chinese. Do
you think he would have demonstrated it?
But did he have to use it? Is the question? Did he have to use it, or was he able to use it as a form of diplomacy?
Well, that's just it. He did use it as a form of diplomacy. That we do know.
Is that morally correct?
So if they had not came back to the table, it's very possible that he would have become a utilitarian at that point. Then
we don't know. I'm glad we never had to find out.
Well, the thing is that's what we call a philosophical question, is it not?
I'm glad we never had to find out.
In other words, that is utilitarian. The thing we're going deep into the weeds, but the thing is that is the basis of what the black pill actually is.
The other thing
morals have to be constructed.
That's fine by me. The world is a better place because people talk to each other. Look at the Soviet Union. Same thing.
What about them?
It out.
Now what? Go ahead.
We talked it out.
Yeah, we talked it out.
Okay, if you believe that, go ahead.
Yeah.
If you believe it,
I do. I just have more faith and optimism, man. I just do.
What is your thoughts on the black pill, Obsidian? What is your thoughts on the black pill?
I think it's largely from based on what I can glean from it. It's much more nihilistic and I kind of think of the brothers Karamazov.
Well, basically, the black pill are used by world leaders constantly, every day, to make a decision. Do you start a war? Do you start a war? Do you sacrifice people? Do you let people starve? What do you do? Basically,
that may be true. Does not change the fact that it's largely, negative. That doesn't change it just because other people do it.
Is it negative?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you believe it's negative?
Well, like I said, I think it's nihilistic.
Why is utilitarian is nihilistic? That's what you believe.
I believe that the black pill is nihilistic.
The black pill has two sides.
I believe both of them are nihilistic.
Oh really? So if you have to make a hard choice, like to go to war for whatever you believe in, is that nihilistic?
Well, we've had fewer wars, not more. War is becoming obsolete itself.
So when the black pill as a philosophy, or the utilitarian as a philosophy, has been around a lot longer than the modern era.
That still doesn't change that it's nihilistic. That doesn't change the fact that it's negative. That becomes something that's been around longer, or that other people do it too. These are all logical fallacies. It still doesn't change the fact that it's negative, and it doesn't change the fact that we are having, as Pinker points out, we're having fewer wars. Violence is dramatically going down. Rape is pretty much non-existent at this point, according to FBI statistics. We're living in a better world. It's in large part because it's less violent.
Do you have fewer wars is because of the atomic bomb and people are scared shitless of escalation?
Even conventional wars.
And basically that is that the atomic bomb or the nuclear weapons are negative.
The Iraq War was a conventional war and had far fewer casualties than the Vietnam War, which was a conventional war.
But was the atomic weapon around then?
The atomic weapon was around for both.
For both. So in other words, you don't have these large-scale theater wars like you used to because of escalation. They don't want it to escalate. So the smaller, what we call police actions, which is the term for them, are less violent and less destructive.
Well, actually,
full-scale wars.
There's been tremendous efforts made to get rid of nukes. That was the whole point between the United States and the Soviet Union. The big buildup of it, and both sides saw the absurdity of it.
They wanted to limit them. To basically to what? To keep actually reduce the effect of, say, total annihilation. In other words, we keep them around for defense, but we don't want an accident to happen to where something trips and basically wipe everybody else out. So we start reducing them.
And wars in general, and this isn't something that's happened since the bomb, as Pinker points out. This is something that's been going on long before the bomb came along.
Really?
Wars have been going down.
Okay. The largest scale war to kill the most people happened when?
The largest scale war to date, World War II.
Okay. So how long before the bomb was actually created was World War II?
How long?
Yes.
The bomb was created during World War II.
Yeah,
exactly.
The bomb was used during World War II.
It was used during World War II. So basically, your largest, most violent war that had ever existed on the planet was just before the bomb.
Yes, but we had a lot more wars prior to World War II. We had a lot more of them. That was prior to the invention of the atomic. Matter of fact, that was prior to the invention of the tank, prior to the invention of the semi-automatic weapon. You know, the 45 was developed in the early 20th century, since the term 1911.
So, in other words, you have fewer wars, but you kill more people.
Actually, we have fewer wars and we kill fewer people today.
Today, I'm talking about that was after the bomb, not before.
But again, we had even more wars, just the sheer number of military conflicts prior to World War II, including World War I.
Basically how many people got killed in World War One? How long before the bomb was created was World War One?
Well, before the bomb was created, World War One, you're looking at several decades.
You had 2 decades.
Yeah, several decades before it came along.
So basically, I know because I took military science. Okay, this is what the military scientists said. The reason that you have fewer wars and no theater wars, which actually kill way more people, even because a lot of people believe that there should be with the conflict now between China, the BRICS, and the West, should have resulted in a theater war by now. What's stopping them? Because of the nukes.
Well,
the only reason they're stopping.
Well, I study military science too, in particular the military historian Victor Davis Hanson, and according to him, the biggest factor in all of this is consent societies that are democracies. You just can't just herd people into fighting. You have to make a convincing argument. Sun Tzu says this right in the beginning of The Art of War. You have to make a convincing case to the public that your cause is moral and just. The propaganda is a lot better now than it was then, and the only reason that's stopping this stuff from escalating to the point where two groups are actually at each other's throats like that is because people are afraid of nuclear annihilation. That's the only reason it stopped. Well, if that was the case, there was no talk of nuclear annihilation with Iraq. There was no talk of nuclear annihilation with Afghanistan. Nobody talked about it.
It was talk about nuclear annihilation when the Russians told Obama to back off in 2011. It just happened again. Just happened again in Iran under Trump. It happened twice under Trump. It happened once when he shot down the drone. It happened once when he shot down the drone. When he shot down the drone, and the second time it happened when they actually took that Iranian tanker. Okay. That backed them down. Okay.
So why didn't Putin was around in 2004? Why didn't Putin step in right away and tell Bush, back off or I'll use the bomb on you? Why didn't he do it?
Why didn't he do that?
Yes.
Because they hadn't gone nose to nose, and plus they didn't like Iraq either or Afghanistan, so they let it go.
Mm-hmm.
But under Syria, who's under their protection, they stood down. And Putin drew a line. Okay, line in the Mediterranean. And Obama backed down.
Can I add something else to it though? There's a whole economic angle.
What's the economic angle?
No, well, the nations are economically intertwined too. That kind of creates less of a press for war.
Exactly.
So was Europe in World War II.
Pinker talks about this. Exactly.
The reason
he talks about it in both books.
The very reason that they backed down, and you can go back and look it up, because the Mossad, they're not Mossad, but the Israeli Defense Force did it. Okay, backed their leaders down. The generals did it, because I know, because I talked to the military people. You had 10 generals that resigned because they didn't want to nuke Iran. They didn't want to drop a nuke in Iran. He had 10 generals resign because basically they know what it would start.
The likelihood of another nuclear bomb being used is extremely low.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Nobody wants.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Nobody wants it.
No, it's not, because North Korea was getting ready to use one on South Korea back in I do believe it was 2009 or so, when I think 2010, I do believe, when Bill Richardson, I do believe, had to fly over and land on a aircraft carrier, fly into North Korea, said, look, we got 2 nuclear subs and we got a battle group outside the off the coast. If you want to nuke, if you want to nuke Seoul, Korea, it's on. They backed them down.
Well, BGS,
yes, sir.
Just to offer some pushback, nukes don't stop the wars. Nukes aren't stopping conflict.
Yes, it do. Yes, it does.
Saber rattling. It's not going to do. It's not going to happen.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Here's the reason why I'm saying having nukes alone.
Because South Korea was threatening to cross their borders. If you were North Korea, and South Korea, which has a army 3 or 4 times the size of yours, was getting ready to invade you, what would you do?
And its people are starving to death.
What would you do? That's the question I asked you.
Are horrendous. The North Korean society has nothing to do with it.
Has nothing to do with it.
Has everything to do with it.
If South Korea is going to invade you and you can't stop them, what are you going to do?
Man, look, like I said,
if South Korea is going to invade you, if South Korea is going to invade, if South Korea is going to, if South Korea,
they really felt that way, they would have used the bomb.
If South
Iran is governed by a fanatical mullah government. If they really believed what they thought they would have used the bomb already. They didn't.
Bill Richardson flew in there to Pyongyang. First, to Seoul, Korea, said, you all need to back the fuck up, okay? That's the first place he landed.
They always use saber rattling. They're trying to use it for a bargaining.
No, South Korea was getting ready to invade North Korea. Yes, they were.
They always use it for a bargaining.
No, they weren't. They're getting ready to invade. They had troops on the border. They're getting ready to invade.
South Korea has no interest in invading.
Yes, they do. They can't. They had this incident.
Look, BGS. I get that you like to play your little global game.
Go look it up, man. Go look it up. It's not a game. Go look it up.
I get that. Listen, my father fought in Korea.
Go look it up.
My father fought in Korea. I know quite a bit about it.
Go look it up.
I know. I'm telling you. My father fought in Korea.
I don't care. Go look it up.
No, but I do.
Look it up.
I do. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. My father fought in Korea.
I don't care. Go look it up.
No. I know you don't. But everybody else, my dad was actually there.
So what?
No, it matters.
Wait a minute. Was he there?
They was there on the ground. I'm telling you.
Was he there when South Korea was getting ready to invade?
He was there when the North invaded the South.
Was he there?
He was there when it actually happened. He was there when they were coming this close to a nuclear confrontation.
Is he a diplomat?
He was there on the ground fighting for this country.
Is he a diplomat?
That's what he was doing.
Is he a diplomat?
That's what he was doing.
Is he a diplomat?
Are you a diplomat?
Was he a general?
Are you a diplomat?
This is just some emotional shit. I know MacArthur got fired back then when you're talking about Obsidian because he wanted to use the nuke. As far as history, that's as far as I go back. Because he wanted to use it and didn't, because he wanted to end the war quickly, to answer y'all question out a while ago.
And this is the whole point here. BGS, what is your end game? My end game is to heal Black America, to get Black men and Black women to talk to each other, to forge relationships. That's my end goal. What's yours?
My end game is to save as many people as I can. My end game, and I tell you people every day, my end game is to give you the best information I can so you know what's coming down the pipe 18 months to 3 years down the line. That's my end game. I say that every week. It should be no illusion about what my end game is. If you put it out in front of you, you can follow it, you can trace it, you can learn for yourself, you can agree or disagree. Okay. But the thing is, when it comes down, and I get emails all the time, when the stuff starts popping up, BGS, you predicted this. BGS, you were right about this. BGS, blah, 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 blah. Because I've been doing this for a long time. Okay. That's my end game.